Hey everybody, welcome back to my homestead out here in the desert. This is G Bear with a little bit of an update for you. You're looking at my boards all over on the ground here, and my ladders all flipped over there, and a few other things that were kicked around here because I had a dust devil come through. And for those of you who don't know what a dust devil is, basically it's a tornado. But instead of having houses and witches and all that kind of stuff and old ladies on bicycles riding around in circles, this is just a tan-colored funnel cloud that runs across the desert, and it's made up of dust and sand and grit and stuff like that. And the one that came through here was pretty darn big. It covered my whole homestead here in one shot. And it threw things around all over the place. I cleaned some of it up, but I wanted to leave some of it here so I could show you what it did here. All right, let's move on down to the garden house because this is pretty interesting. It was a hot one today, and the humidity actually got up to the double digits at 10%. So you see, I got some screws on the ground there. I'll have to pick those up before I make a walk out here and find those through my shoe. I got the pallet made in here for the water bottles that are going to sit on there and feed my gutter garden. But you notice everything looks real nice in there. The grapevine's drying a little bit. I'm going to give it some water here in a few minutes. But the most important thing is, today, there was no digging in that plant, in that tree. So apparently, it was one of the Mojave desert ground squirrels, or those little chipmunks, whatever you want to call them, that was climbing this fence, going over the top of the board when the wire was only that tall, going back down inside and trying to tunnel in and eat the roots of my trees. Well, right now the score is G Bear 1, desert ground squirrels 0. They're not getting in there anymore. So that's a good thing. I just wanted to pass that on. I'll be out here to water after I shoot this video. The wind's blowing pretty hard right now. I just checked the weather report, and they said it's going to get up to 22 miles per hour yet. Right now it's about 14. And I just stepped and tangled up in some wire. And I just came out and gave the girls their treat, their second treat of the day. I had some expired canned vegetables, and today it was peas and corn. And they were the only the little 6-ounce cans, the small ones. But I poured 2 of them in that little feed bucket down there. And 2 of the hens climbed on there and just kept the other ones away from it. They wanted all of it. They were fighting over it. I had to go in there and chase those 2 hens away so the others could get some. All right. Something else I noticed. You see this hen right here. She's got a lot of white feathers on her. The other hens aren't like that. They're all really browned over. That one there has a lot of white feathers underneath. And I've been getting a light colored egg in the mix, and it's probably, I would say, about a Swiss coffee color. All the other eggs are brown eggs that you normally get from Rhode Island Reds. So I suspect that that one is a mongrel who was mixed with another chicken, and the guy I got these from also had all white chickens. So I have a feeling that that one did get mixed in with it. And she's half white chicken and half Rhode Island Red. And that's why I'm getting light eggs. Well, let's see what we got for today. Only 2 eggs today, but yep, there it is. There's one that's light colored, and there's a brown one right behind it. So one thing I'm going to try is next time I get over to Tractor Supply, they sell these ceramic eggs. And you put the ceramic eggs in the nesting boxes, and it's supposed to promote egg laying and teach them not to peck at the eggs and break them open. Yep, nothing on this side. So 2 eggs today so far. And hens are supposed to lay eggs when they're not stressed and in good laying shape. They're supposed to go every 15 hours. Each hen is supposed to lay an egg. But it's been really hot out here for the past week. I mean, over 100. Today it was 106 on my porch. And that causes stress in the chickens, so they may not lay because of that. The feed that I've been giving them in the bowl there and mixed in with this feed and some inside is designed to promote egg laying. And the other one I mix in with it has a lot of calcium in it, so it makes the eggs a little stronger because the egg shells have been a little bit flimsy. And that's expected because they've gone through a stress and a change and all of that. And this is the stuff I was telling you about that strengthens the eggshell and promotes egg laying. I just filled this back up. It was down to this level, which is a little more than halfway gone, but the bottom pipe is completely full. So knowing that in a week's time they only used about 12 pounds of feed out of this feeder, that tells me that this feeder, I could go away for 2 weeks and they have plenty in there. The water barrel is probably at 12 gallons. Yeah, about 12 gallons still inside there. So that's pretty good. And the one thing I did notice is this is sitting right out in the sun. But if I turn this on, this water is actually cool. It's not hot. So that's interesting. That barrel has enough UV protection to keep the water cool in it. But then again, that's why I painted one black up there on the shower, so that one would get hot and the other one would stay cool. And that's been working for me for over a year. So that's where we stand, everybody. This is going to be a short video today because that's about all I did because of the heat. You notice I got my buckets out here already. I got my hole saw out already. So I can drill the holes in the bottom of those buckets and drill the holes in the covers. And these red covers are going to be where the tomatoes plant, because apparently some scientists has figured out that tomatoes like red coloring around them. So if you put red below the tomato, it's supposed to make them grow better. So I'm going to give that a shot and see if that works. And all the other blue ones there will get before. Actually, they did say that blue was a good color for them too, red and blue. So I'll be putting the holes in those and planting one plant in each one of these 10 buckets. And that's going to go on the gutter garden. When I get that all set up, I'll do a video on it and show you how it goes. But I'll also do step videos to show you how the gutter garden is actually leveled and set into the bin. And I've decided, thinking at night, out here on the porch where it's nice and cool, I've decided that instead of using desert dirt around the pipe that's going to be buried in the ground, it'll be a raised garden anyway, and the bottom is protected so the critters can't come up from underneath. So I'm just going to put good potting soil in there, and then in between the buckets, I'll plant vegetables that like shade, like beans and cucumber and things like that. So I'll utilize not only the buckets for growing, but I'll utilize the soil around the buckets. All right, that's about it. I'm making plans to get the rest of my trees up here now, and I've got to make a few phone calls tonight. So, G Bear signing off from this episode of Homesteading the Desert.